Good morning, and thank you guys for being here today. We're so happy and honored to see such a great turnout for our Veterans Day ceremony. We'd like to start the ceremony off with prayer, so if you would just bow your head with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time we have to spend together, God, to honor our veterans, men and women who serve to protect our country, protect our freedom. We're so blessed, God, to live in one of the greatest nations. We ask that you just bless this ceremony, bless each and every person that's here today. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our ceremony. Mr. Cameron, take it away.
We now ask that you would stand as you are able. Join us as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Every one of us has a great and shared love of our country. We are free to come together as a nation and celebrate the freedoms we enjoy because of the sacrifices of so many who have come before. Our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. We celebrate the brave, loyal, and selfless American soldiers and their families for giving us the opportunity to live freely in this great country. It is a country of courage, faith, honor, hope, and pride. A land of unity and liberty. This is America.
America. was a time in your life when Uncle Sam was asking for volunteers?
It was a unbelievable time, you know, as a kid, 18, going to war. We didn't know anything about war. Didn't know how to play the game. Learn fast. Learn fast.
I think that you have to learn to be part of a team and to respect your buddy soldiers. We learn to work as a unified force. And you take people for what they are, not color or religion.
I think our own motivation was to feel that we were making a contribution. We wanted to show proof that we loved our country.
What would have happened had we not been able to make that landing and go into Normandy and capture Normandy? What would this world be like if we hadn't done that?
I just felt that I left a piece of me in Normandy when we came home. Your life is different. Your whole outlook is different. It changed.
World War II saved the world, freed the world, gave us freedom throughout the world, not just America. And of course, it saved democracy.
I almost cry when I think of those young men. I think of them every day. They were a part of my life then, and they'll always be a part of my life.
We just think about how much they could have been, how much they could have contributed to their community, their family, the country, if they had lived on.
So I tell my story for those who can't speak for themselves. We gave up our yesterdays for your tomorrows.
In the 16th century, writer Michel de Montaigne wrote, "Valor, stability, not of legs and arms, but of courage and soul." 400 years later, Elmer Davis, the director of the United States Office of War Information, echoed those same ideas when he said, "This nation will remain the land of the free only as long as it is the home of the brave." Today, we gather to honor those brave men and women who, through their day-to-day heroism and service, have ensured that we are still the land of the free. For the good of the many, so give the few.
World War II's long shadow had barely lifted when U.S. troops joined those of 16 other nations in answering their country's call to fight on the Korean Peninsula. Since 1950, over 3 million Americans have served in South Korea. 28,000 are still there today, many at risk as a result of lasting tensions along the demilitarized zone. The Korean War exploded in June 1950 when North Korea, with support from the Soviet Union and China, launched a surprise attack against South Korea. What became a 3-year ordeal of brutal fighting would come to involve more than 1.7 million Americans. During the first months of combat, the enemy sought to push Allied forces off the Korean Peninsula at the Busan perimeter. A daring U.S. amphibious landing at Incheon in September turned the tide of the war. Within 2 weeks of Incheon, U.S. troops retook the capital of Seoul. Soon, U.S. forces were marching across the 38th parallel into North Korea, advancing to within miles of the Chinese border along the frozen Yalu River and the Chosin Reservoir. Victory seemed almost at hand. Then 300,000 battle-ready Chinese troops struck hard and fast across the entire front. Their unrelenting attacks inflicted massive casualties and instilled terror. Nothing could prepare our troops for the incredible hardships that followed. Conditions on the ground became apocalyptic. Savage, unforgiving winter weather compounded the effects of the relentless onslaught. Ill-equipped for the harsh conditions, as many men froze in foxholes as they were killed by enemy guns. Korean civilians endured unspeakable suffering from the ravages of war. 3 million people were left homeless. A vicious, never-ending stalemate persisted along hundreds of contested miles. 7,000 were taken prisoners of war, and 3,000 died from deprivation and torture. The wounded numbered nearly 100,000. Invisible scars would plague others for the rest of their lives. 36,000 Americans gave their lives in the course of this fierce and brutal conflict. After 2 long years of negotiations, an armistice, not a peace treaty, was signed on July 27, 1953. Finally, our troops began to head for home.
President John F. Kennedy wrote, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Let us remember the service of our veterans, and let us renew the nation's promises to fulfill our sacred obligation to our veterans and their families who have sacrificed so much that we can live free. We must ask ourselves, what kind of courage does it take to do something heroic, knowing that your life will surely end? Honoring the sacrifices many have made for our country in the name of freedom and democracy is a very foundation of Veterans Day." Our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, wrote this immortal words, "Honor to the soldiers and sailors everywhere who bravely bear his country's cause. Honor also to the citizens who cares for his brother in the field and serves as best he can. The same cause, because of you, we have freedom. As Americans, we come together to honor you this day.
The Vietnam War has been over for half a century, but even now the images from that era remain indelible. Vietnam was a never-ending nightmare. The war came at our troops from everywhere. Impenetrable jungle valleys, forbidding hill country, cities consumed by destruction. From 1964 to 1973, more than 3 million deployed to Southeast Asia. Amidst the horrors of battle, our troops forged lifelong bonds. Over 150,000 Americans were wounded. 58,220 were killed. Their names are now engraved in our nation's memory. Sadly, many remain unaccounted for. Families whose loved ones are still missing in action ache from uncertainty. And for the prisoners of war who suffered unspeakable cruelty, coming home was only the first step in the journey to recovery. 50 years ago, this past March, the last remaining U.S. troops left Vietnam, and the final group of American prisoners of war were freed and left Hanoi.
American poet Walt Whitman wrote, "The moon gives you light, and the bugles and the drums give you music. And my heart, oh my soldiers, my veterans, my heart gives you love." Many stories of veterans are frighteningly familiar. An ordinary person is thrust into a position of terror, impossible circumstances, and facing death. He is forced to rise to the occasion, putting his own life on the line for his family, his friends, and his country. We pray for our troops, hoping that they are always able to find their way and are able to find comfort. We hope that their fears are calmed in the face of danger, and they remember that they are our heroes.
For over half a century, our country's bravest men and women have willingly put themselves in harm's way to keep us safe and secure. Many heroically served multiple deployments in the longest war in our history, Afghanistan, and in Iraq. Operation Iraqi Freedom began 20 years ago. What was an anticipated short-term action quickly grew into an ongoing maelstrom of bloody violence. Our servicemen and women were asked to carry out their missions while facing threats from unseen snipers, ceaseless guerrilla action, rocket and mortar attacks, and the crippling and often fatal blasts of IEDs. Injury or death came at any moment, in every town and on every road. At the peak of the war, over 170,000 U.S. forces were stationed in Iraq. More than 32,000 American troops were wounded in action. Countless more came home with traumatic brain injuries and post-traumatic stress. Over 4,000 American troops lost their lives. Even as the war began to wind down, Iraq remained a very dangerous place. The one constant, our troops continued to volunteer and serve, knowing they might lose their lives. They left behind parents, spouses, siblings, and children.
In these days, when differences seem to be highlighted all too often, it's good to stop and realize that what makes us such a great nation are, in fact, those differences. We each come from different families, backgrounds, religions, creeds, colors, and races, but we are united in our love of country. President Dwight D. Eisenhower wrote, "In order to ensure proper and widespread observance of this anniversary, all veterans organizations, and the entire citizenry will wish to join hands in the common purpose. We are one nation, together in freedom, united we stand."
The soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardians, and Coast Guardsmen represent the highest ideals of America. Each of them paid in blood for the freedoms that we enjoy every day. And their families carry on the dreams that our fallen never realized. These brave men and women willingly entered the crucible of combat, knowing the price they may be asked to pay. Their blood spilled on the slopes of Bunker Hill, the fields of Gettysburg, the forests of the Meuse-Argonne, the sands of Normandy and Iwo Jima, the frozen tundra of the Chosin Reservoir, the jungles of the Idrang Valley, and the sands and mountains of Iraq and Afghanistan. They fought thousands of miles from their homes and their birthplaces. In these moments of carnage, death, and destruction, ordinary Americans displayed extraordinary character and uncommon valor. In these moments, the courage of a few inspired a nation of many. No matter the cost, America's brave men and women will always answer our nation's call. Now it is up to us, we, the living, to stand watch, to ensure that our fallen did not die in vain, to ensure that this experiment in liberty continues so each generation to come can enjoy the blessings of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. On behalf of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, thank you all. Thank to all of those who have made sacrifices so much to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We in uniform, we swear to you, the American people, that we will never turn our back on the Constitution and we will never turn our back on our fallen. We must always honor them, and we must forever cherish the idea that is America and the cause for which they died. May God bless the United States of America, and we of the Joint Chiefs salute each and every one of you.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom
and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
To all our veterans, those with us and those in our thoughts, we honor and salute you on this special day as we pay tribute to each branch of the armed services: the Army, Marines, Coast Guard, Navy, and Air Force. The student body, faculty, staff, and administration, thank you for your service. It is a debt we cannot begin to repay. We hope you enjoy our final song, Tribute to the Armed Services, and ask that veterans and active duty personnel stand when they hear the anthem of their specific branch of service.
Didn't they do a fantastic job? I don't know about you, but as they sang and I watched videos, I reflected on family members that I have that serve, family members that I have currently serving. And there was just a great sense of pride. I got goosebumps just thinking about the patriotism that we're showing, that we're teaching, that our kids are putting on today. And we're so thankful for our veterans. We're so thankful for all of you for coming out today. Mr. Cameron, didn't you do a great job setting all this up? If you didn't notice the flag that our students made, there is a beautiful art piece that Mr. Lightfoot, our art teacher in our student body, created that will be a great backdrop for pictures and stuff like that if you'd like to take a picture. Thank you, Mr. Lightfoot, for your part in creating that. And also, thank you to all of the staff who put in time, effort, and energy to help plan and pull this off. You guys did an amazing job. Again, thank you guys for coming out, supporting this beautiful ceremony. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day.